All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome into another Strive YouTube video. We're here with Splash Valley. It used to be Splash Valley. Now it's just one in Splash. But Ruggles, Spencer, no word.
Okay, I guess I'll talk. So
What's
I
going
was
on?
actually just thinking about what Splash Valley was. I forgot you used to have a podcast with the name Valley in it.
Oh, that makes sense now.
I was so confused why it was as to why it was Splash Valley. But
That's also the name of our text that I sent in this chat, or the link to this in.
yeah, but there's no telling why any of our group chats will be named what they are named.
That's facts. Well, anyways, enough of that. We're gonna talk basketball because it's the real opening night for everybody in this chat. All of our teams played, but let's just hop straight into Giannis choking.
Did Giannis choke tonight? So here's I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I did watch the games last night. I did not watch a single minute of basketball tonight, live at least. I watched the Tatum step back after the fact, of course, which really was just basically art in motion. I mean, it was just a beautiful thing. Tatum seduces Giannis into this lull, steps back, 6'10", Jason Tatum absolutely buries one in his eye, and there's no way Jason was aiming for the bank shot right there, but God bless him, Tommy Heinsohn was in that building tonight, and he just kissed that ball in there. He just made it happen. Tommy Heinsohn. So it was Tommy night or the Tommy Patch.
Tommy Patch. The banners were lowered. It was a very. I don't know if you noticed that. Very cool. Very cool scene. Very cool aesthetic. And also, first of all, I'm very impressed with the team because first half, got off. Jaylen Brown, the bulk of it. My boy Peyton Pritchard really came through. Yep, he's good with those 3 points.
I hate Peyton Pritchard.
I don't know why you hate Peyton Pritchard. It doesn't make sense.
I watched him play one game, and he was absolutely probably the worst basketball player I've ever seen in my entire life. He was getting bullied.
Okay, fair enough. But
he was getting destroyed.
You know who wasn't getting bullied and destroyed and is now one of my, if not my favorite Celtics player? Tristan Thompson. I like him a lot.
Oh, wow.
I like what he brings to the table. I used to hate him. I don't anymore. He's a Longhorn, and I like that. I like that a lot.
I bet he was awesome tonight, was he?
Yeah, he was really great. He fouled Giannis that sent him to the line, even though I don't know if there was necessarily should have been a foul called, but it was nonetheless. But it was a hustle play. So
of course it was a hustle play. I mean, when you date a Kardashian, you're always hustling. Like your entire life, it's paparazzi, it's e-news, it's, plus you're playing the NBA, you're playing with LeBron, his whole life was hustle. So, of course he's a hustler. Yeah. I mean, 12 and 8 and 22 minutes. That's insane. I mean, that's great. I'll take that every day. What's so crazy is Daniel Tice played more minutes than Tristan Thompson.
Pain.
No, not pain. Not pain. We beat the Bucks. That's never pain. What's so crazy is I'm seeing now that the Bucks outscored us in the fourth quarter by a bunch. So, we didn't close it great, but when you have a guy like Jason Tatum, it doesn't matter.
It's kind of alarming. It's the same team from last year in that sense. This time we had enough of a lead in the third quarter that our fourth quarter collapse wasn't devastating. But it almost was, and it took a ridiculous game winner by Jason Tatum for us to not have that be the case, which is scary because this Brad Stevens team, year in and year out, proves that in crunch time, in the fourth quarter, in the clutch, he cannot deliver. And I don't
cannot deliver.
Brad Stevens cannot coach a team to victory in the clutch.
Can I counter?
Go for it.
Galloway battle.
For an entire year, we had a point guard size 5'9", lead the league in fourth quarter scoring. Now, is that an Isaiah Thomas thing, or is that I mean, I think it's both. I think that's the strangest player coach combo we've had over the last decade, because you have this new young coach who just gets this kind of like this NBA journeyman and turns him into a NBA like MVP finisher. I mean,
Well,
that
it was the right
insane.
situation for a lot of reasons. But look, if Brad Stevens can do that with Isaiah Thomas, how can he not do that with Kyrie Irving? Actually, I understand the Kyrie Irving. How can he not do that with Kemba Walker, who is a selfless player? And he's take Isaiah Thomas, give him some more playmaking, and make him 3 inches taller. I really think that's what you
Yeah.
have with Kemba Walker, and it doesn't work.
Well, I think it's just a much different team. You also remember, like, Isaiah was far and ahead the best player on the team. Kemba is like the third guy, on any given night. Sometimes the second guy, but I mean, Jalen's rise has been so big too that I just have to say I'm thankful that we have these guys signed in for the next 5 years.
So
That is so good.
don't mean to interrupt the Galloway extravaganza.
No, we just love the Celtics.
So I'm like, I've been quiet this whole time because I'm just like digesting. Granted, I'm just stat watching, but I'm trying to just like, okay, what happened in this game because I didn't watch it. But so is Kemba hurt right now?
Yeah, Kemba's hurt.
Okay, Kemba's
Yeah,
hurt.
he's out.
So he's not even playing. Wow.
No,
Okay.
and we still won.
So I
With the
got
Bucks.
yeah, I got 2 questions for
Bring it on.
Ryan and then just Spencer as well too. And also want to apologize because it might have been a little bit laggy at the beginning of the video. I turned off my YouTube
Nah,
TV
it's
game,
alright.
so that might have been my fault. But since then, it's been perfect.
Hey.
So it's all Jude now. But 2 questions for you, Ryan. Daniel Tice and Tristan Thompson starting the game. What are your thoughts on that? What did you like? What did you not like? I can see in my head the pros and cons right off the bat, but from you actually watched the game, what'd you think?
Yeah, so the Bucks are a weird matchup for any team because Giannis, you can't. It's a freak of nature. Now, I like the idea of kind of a Twin Towers type deal, even though that's the smallest Twin Towers ever because they're both 6'9". But I understand what they were going for, and it worked
Me
because
too.
they were trying to protect the paint, and they did well with that. Now, personally, I like to see more of a fast-paced offense, especially against the Bucks trying to keep pace. It worked better when you had someone like Gordon Hayward to plug into the lineup, but I have no issue with them doing that. I would just like to see Tatum run at the 4 more often.
Do you think that is going to happen more throughout the season, like even when Kemba comes back, or do you just think that that's a lineup they'll have depending on the matchup?
I think it depends on the matchup because when Kemba
Gotcha.
comes back, you have your ranking. Tristan Thompson's obviously the number 1, and he needs to be getting more minutes because from what he showed today, he's fitting seamlessly into this team. And he's shown that, well, even look at his stats last year, fighting for rebounds and playing time with Andre Drummond. I mean, he still had great numbers. And so I think you're going to see an extension of that this year. And yeah, I think that he can definitely be the top center this year.
Okay, another question. Is Brad Wanamaker better than Jeff Teague?
Hell no.
I know.
No,
It was
burn
a
in
joke.
hell.
I was a joke, bro. Jeff Teague went
Bro, I
4
saw
for 4
Brad
from
Wanamaker. I
He's
saw him
on
on my
who's
TV
he on
last night,
again?
and I laughed.
What
He's on the
team?
Warriors.
He's on the that's right.
Dude, no, I was gonna say, very
No.
seriously that I would have liked to rather see, and I get it's game 1, you're gonna test some stuff out, and who knew Jeff Teague would be that good tonight, but I'm not crazy about that lineup. I would have rather just seen Teague start because he's a starting point guard in this league. He can probably only start for a handful of teams now, but at this point in his career, but he can still, when Kemba's out, easily can still start a few games. So I would.
And a lot of the time, Jeff Teague was, as you like to say, Spencer, best player on the floor. He was the difference maker in a lot of possessions.
Yeah.
And
He was
yeah,
your third leading scorer with basically 20
Yeah, no
points
doubt.
and 4 for
Until-
4 from the 3-point line. I mean,
So Jaylen Brown had a very good night. He started off kind of slow as well.
33.
Jeff Teague really showed that he belongs on the team, and he was also the top player for a good stretch. He was the only good player for a little bit of the game. And of course, our stars eventually took over, which is good. But
good.
Jeff Teague, better than any option we've had off the bench since Isaiah Thomas.
So he's going to be your
Yeah.
6th man when you get Kemba back. So you'll have him and Marcus Smart coming off as a backcourt.
Well, Smart should start.
You think Smart? Do you think he will?
Yeah, the lineup should be Walker, Smart, Brown, Tatum, Thompson.
Got you. So you think
Smart's a
Daniel
starter in this league.
Tice
He's a defensive
Daniel
player.
Tice will come
Yeah.
off. Gotcha.
I mean, he's all NBA first defense, all first team defense. I have my griefs with him. He takes too many threes, too many ill-advised shots. Sometimes he dribbles into like a brick wall of the opposing team, and he makes you say some words that you maybe want to regret. But he's still, I would, and all of us we would all die for Marcus Smart. So he is that guy for us.
Would Marcus Smart die for you?
I mean, in like a basketball sense.
If there was a
he
basketball
probably
to
would.
die for, yeah. I mean,
if I was the basketball, he would die for me.
that's true.
Okay. Well, this is a two-parted question. One, are you a Boston Celtic? And two, if you were a Boston Celtic, would he die for you?
If I was Celtic, he would die for anybody on the team. Even Peyton Pritchard, who's terrible. Dude, he's the new Brad Wanamaker. And no, that's disrespectful to Brad Wanamaker. Brad Wanamaker is good, but very
He's
clearly
just
was
slow.
just didn't belong on the floor with when they were playing the Heat in the conference finals, it's like very obvious who didn't belong. And Peyton Pritchard doesn't even belong in this league.
He's not as bad as you make it out to
And
be.
we took him in the first. No,
He is a
dude,
duck.
I watched him get swatted by somebody who was like twice his size. I mean, like he was fat. He got swatted by some fat dude in like the preseason. I don't even know who the player was. And I just couldn't watch it anymore. He's so bad.
He's an Oregon Duck. That's what he is.
Yeah, he also looks like a basic, when you make a my player and you don't have any swag on him. That's what he looks like. Jersey shorts, no socks, no sleeves, no nothing. He has the least. He's so not cool.
He needs to quack
He needs some VC
after he makes threes.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, a little flapping action.
He looks like a duck.
Go Ducks.
Dude, he runs like a duck.
Dude, him and Dylan Brooks, I guess.
Dylan Brooks is actually good.
Back in the day.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks is actually good, man.
Poor Dylan Brooks tonight. He fouled out actually.
Is he a Sun?
Game. No, he's a Grizzly.
Oh, he was a Sun. Now he's a Grizzly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Suns play tonight?
Yeah. I had to turn off the stream. They're up by 1 point against the Mavs with 1:44 left.
How is my king doing? Let's see.
Who is your king?
That's a good game. Chris Paul.
Oh,
what? Who?
Ooh, Chris Paul with a stinker.
To be fair,
whoa! Actually, no. He is setting up his team. Ooh, Spence, our cousin Langston has 11 points.
Dude, I'm so
in 9
glad
minutes.
he's on that team. I'm so glad he's on the team. He's gonna play a really good role. He was just gonna die out in Detroit.
Yeah,
Langston
Detroit is where
Galloway.
NBA players go to die. Like, I'm worried about Blake Griffin. He needs to get out of there.
Bro, they started 3 like forwards today. I was looking at they beat somebody though. I forget who they beat. Who did they beat?
Sorry team.
No, they beat the
Nets.
Oh no, they lost. They lost the Timberwolves, but they're winning.
Oh, okay.
But this is their starting lineup: Blake Griffin, Mason Plumlee, Jeremy Grant, DeLon Wright, and Killian Hayes from France.
Dude, I like all of those players, but together it's kind of a weird combo.
And then Josh Jackson off the bench with 19.
Hey, shout out to the Rockets for not even being able to put together a starting lineup tonight.
Oh,
my theory is this is all James Harden's doing. He is going around the locker room and infecting people with COVID, so he can kind of get out of there, sooner.
Davis Bertans was the third leading scorer for the Wizards tonight.
Yo, you know what? Fun fact, and shame on me, but it wasn't until this week that I realized he doesn't have a finger.
Oh, really?
Half of his finger.
Yeah, it's only half, and it's on his shooting hand too, which is pretty incredible.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, he's a legend
because he flings that thing from like 35 feet. I mean, he pulls up.
Yeah,
I'll never forget the Spurs. For the Spurs traded Davis Bertans for what? Nothing. Literally nothing.
They thought they were going to get
Yeah.
Marcus Morris, and
But
then
even
Marcus
then-
Morris.
even- no,
owned
even
him.
Marcus
then,
Morris is
why?
a downgrade. They wanted Marcus Morris and a second round pick. They got the second round pick. Marcus Morris bailed.
Yeah,
I
but
know, that was a joke.
Marcus Morris, like looking back on
Just-
that, no way he would ever play in San Antonio. There's just no way.
And
like-
I don't know why you'd want to. But,
Like I'm
Um,
trying to think of like somebody who's like that they've had. Maybe no. Like I know they've had
that's like trying
some,
to add Steven Jackson the second time around.
exactly.
And then he bailed.
And Steven
and he bailed,
Jackson was
so.
like, I'm gonna
out."
be me and all the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the smoke. Worst quality podcast maybe ever. Did you
You mean
listen to
Matt
any
Barnes?
of that? It
I
was
didn't.
So bad.
Was it
I just mean, no, the podcast itself is good, but
the audio quality?
Ever since they've been out of the studio for like this virus, it's so funny that they have like just the worst sounding equipment. It sounds so terrible. So, and then here we are with like pro setups all at home.
And we don't even have their viewership. We're also not former NBA players though, so I'll cut us some slack there. Well,
Hey, that's a nice jersey.
do you wanna
I want it.
do y'all want to talk about the Spurs or no?
You have
yeah.
to give me go ahead and get started. I'll pull up a scoreboard.
All right, so there will be a whole podcast on this at the same day this is released, so I won't go into it too much. But the Spurs need to get better at defense.
Wow.
All of their young guys who have potential stepped up, and that's the reason that they won the game. LaMarcus Aldridge,
incredible game.
yeah, it's not as good as I'm going to be honest with you. The stat line doesn't tell the whole story. He didn't play defense for the majority of the game.
Dude, neither does Luka Doncic, and we.
That's true. That's true. But there is, bro.
Defense
Okay,
is so undervalued now.
but can I tell you one thing? There's just this one moment, and it's at the end of the game when they were kind of choking, but then they held the lead. Like a minute 25 left. So DeJounte goes to like pick up this, another wide open player that would have been wide open at the 3-point line. And John Morant, who went for 44, he throws up a lob to himself, and DeMar's just standing there. He's just like right under the rim. Like it was the most weird poster I've ever seen in my entire life, because it wasn't even like he postered him, because DeMar was just standing there and he just watched it happen. And he just like, and
we watched John Morant do it.
yeah. And he like lobs it to himself, and DeMar is like a little bit to the right of like the restricted area, but
Mhm.
like still kind of under the basket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he just looks at DeJounte afterward, who just went and picked up this guy, Dylan Brooks, I'm pretty sure, who would have been wide open on the 3-point line. And he's like, why didn't you get that? I'm like, dude, he just literally lobbed to himself and you didn't do anything. Like, so.
Hey, the beautiful thing is they still won by a good margin.
And this is the one thing, there are two caveats. Jaren Jackson Jr. didn't play, but also Derek White didn't play. So I feel like those kind of even themselves out.
Yeah.
But LaMarcus is like he'll hit 3 straight mid-range shots, and then he'll miss 4 straight. Like that's how the game went.
That's his flow.
Yeah, I know.
I've been to a lot of Spurs games. That's his move, man.
And he, at the beginning of the game, he's like taking these wide open threes, and he just misses 3 in a row. And then he finally makes one at the end of the game in the corner, but he just stopped after a certain point. It was so bad.
Man.
The one thing I will say though, that Pop did is he trolled us the whole preseason, because he said they were going to do small ball, and then they were running these lineups that were just the antithesis of small ball. This game, they actually did small ball. So
really. Yeah, so I mean, it looks like DeJounte had a great game, and I would say
DeJounte was the best player on the floor, and that's not me just wearing his jersey.
Well, no,
like legitimately, he was the most talented player on the floor.
I feel like this is probably the year where he's finally healthy. He's been healthy for some time now. It's probably that time where he can finally emerge as that. And I think that's probably what it takes for Pop and RC to probably like wake up and realize, hey, maybe we can trade some of these guys. Because I think DeJounte plus a couple other pieces probably wins you the same amount of games as DeMar and a couple other pieces. At this point, if DeJounte is able to stay healthy, I think it's very clear that he's the best guy on the team.
Yeah, do you
Sorry.
think that DeMar not playing defense? I guess he's never really been known for his defense, but do you think he wants out, or do you think he's very?
No,
do you
because I
he's
think
more
he
of a
opted in. I see, and honestly, and I said this on the podcast I did tonight. I don't mind DeMar as much as LA. It's just I don't think he wants out. I think he's just. Here's the thing that I noticed.
Oh, I think he wants out. He wants
from
out.
really.
Oh yeah.
You think he's gonna get traded at the trade deadline?
I think it's very clear he wants to be in LA. The only thing is one of those and the Lakers did show a little bit of interest, but they need to find the space, and I don't think they should do it because I think they have an easy and a good path either way.
So when I say I don't think he wants out, I say that like as in this season. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's not gonna go like full James Harden. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
not James Harden forced the trade. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna be a good teammate and like run with the
DeMar
young
doesn't
guys.
have. Here's the thing: DeMar DeRozan doesn't have that kind of sway.
That's true. That's
He doesn't
facts.
have that kind of. If he goes to the front office and demands a trade, they're like, "Dude, go back, go back out
But
there."
it kind of seems like LaMarcus and him kind of have that same mentality on defense. Although LaMarcus had one good block and sometimes he plays good defense, but they just kind of like you can just tell that they both feel like, oh, well, we do our part on offense, so we're just gonna let all the other young guys play defense. Like
Yeah,
it's just you
basically.
can tell they like take possessions off and they just feel like they've earned it. Like that's kind of like
Yeah.
the vibe that I get from them, which I mean kind of makes sense, but I'm also like, get off of my roster. Because my
Yeah.
favorite point in the game, and we only got it for like 2 minutes. They went Jakob Pertl, Rudy Gay, Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker, and DeJounte.
Wow.
And
That's like your dream team.
I know. And it was so good. Like they were so much better. And there's just this one play where DeJounte penetrates. He swings it out to Lonnie, who could have pulled it. And he went 3 for 4 tonight. But immediately he swings it to Keldon wide open in the corner, bang. And I was just like, this is what I want.
That's what Spurs basketball kind of is.
I know, it's what I'm saying. I'm like,
that's kind of my thing is like, if I'm Coach Pop, like if I want to be super influential on my players, which he always wants to be, he always wants to kind of set the pace. You're not going to convince guys like LA and DeMar, who are, seasoned veterans who come from different systems and organizations, to really buy into the culture at this point. But you can tell the young guys all day long, hey, swing it, or, ball movement, and encourage that stuff. You can't really teach an old dog new tricks, if you will.
That's facts. Okay,
DeMar
so
DeRozan.
final thing for me here. Well, Patty Mills looked the best he's had in a while. I will give him that.
Thank
but
God,
also
because it was looking kind of
he's actually looks decent on defense, like no lie.
That's funny.
And he's just more in rhythm as a shooter. But the reason that the Spurs won tonight is because Lonnie and Keldon both had 16, but also Keldon Johnson 3 steals, Lonnie a steal and a block. And one of those steals, he went up and monster dunk. He also dunked on somebody else. Lonnie dunked on like 2 people tonight. But the point is, those 2 guys contributing with 16, not trying to do too much. You could tell that like DeJounte is kind of the alpha because he's the youngest. This is actually the first year he's in his contract. But Lonnie and Keldon, that's the reason they won this game tonight, because they just contributed, no turnovers, didn't do too much, just played within themselves. When they got their buckets, they got their buckets. Yeah.
Very true. I mean, those like 3 or 4 guys, less so Derek White as a scorer, but Keldon, Lonnie, DeJounte, those guys can kind of cakewalk their way into 20 to 25 points if they just play the game.
Derek was going I don't know. I know it's the bubble, but he
he's legitimately a great player. He might be the second best player on that team. I mean,
I'm gonna be honest with you, Brett.
At times he looks like it.
He might be the best player. I mean, and I love DeJounte to death, but I don't know. We'll see. But it's mainly those 4 guys. If they're on they all got 30 minutes. DeJounte got 31, Lonnie got 34, and Keldon got 32. That's what we need.
And what do I tell you? What do I always say? Play the young guys for the future and for the present. And if they do that, they have the best chance of winning, and they need to get that veteran leadership out of their veterans, which they've always had good veterans. And that's been the key to the Spurs because they've always been able to kind of rebuild without rebuilding. And this has been the first kind of couple seasons where they've genuinely had to kind of hit the reset button in a way. Not as bad as we've had to see like with Phoenix after they lost Nash and all those guys, and they're finally just coming out of it, stuff like that. But Jude, let me ask you, put your biases aside, and Spence will probably give his input in a minute because he likes to do that. But are the Spurs a legitimate contender for the 6th through 8th seed in the playoff, or are we not going to see them in for the second year in a row?
This year,
Yes.
maybe
Not.
it could go. I don't know. I mean, like, this is just one game. If they play like this for the majority of the year, they might have a shot at that 8-7 seed. But I mean, that's where Memphis is going to be. You know what I'm saying? And
The West is so
yeah, exactly. So I could see a world where they don't get in. I could see a world where things go really well and they get like the 7th seed, and then maybe they take a team to like 6 games because these young guys are, just getting a lot better. Like if DeJounte keeps playing like he did tonight, like he's going to be like he's going to be like one of the better point guards in the league. Like
he's an all-star.
Maybe. I mean, if he keeps putting up numbers like this, I'm not even ready to say that. I would love it. I'd love it to death. That means this jersey would be a great investment. But I don't know. I could see them missing it too. I'm just kind of ready for this season to be over. What I'm hoping for is that the Spurs are just trolling us, and definitely not DeJounte, that DeMar and LA are gone at the trade deadline. But if they're not gone then, I hope they're gone in the offseason. So really next season for me is kind of what I'm just kind of sitting here. I'm just like, I'm going to enjoy it. It's basketball. Yay. But.
Well, me and Ryan the other night were going back and forth, and it was so crazy with this. Well, it's so crazy with most of the West. That's not, you have LA, Denver, Utah,
Phoenix, Dallas.
We're close to putting down. We're close to put. Well, those are still. I'm still not completely sold on those teams. But yeah, you reach a certain point where it's like this team could either be the 8th seed or they could be the 15th seed, and the Spurs are that, because the Spurs are one bad injury away from 15, but also
that's a good point.
I mean,
I didn't think about injuries. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't.
Also,
with their current
this season,
roster,
let's not act like we're not going to have a bunch of COVID cases. And
that's true.
Some of these teams, because let's say the Phoenix loses Chris Paul, which they will at some point, because I mean,
yeah.
He's gone at every point of the year for like a 15 game stretch. They're probably out of it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So it's just too hard to make really definitive picks at this point. But the Spurs, that's the thing. I could see them in the 8th spot, but I could also see them, vying for the top pick in the draft. What's better? I mean, that's probably the top pick in the draft.
That's a good point. And I didn't even think about that. So, all right, here we go. That's our plan. We got to trade DeMar in LA for key value at the trade deadline, and everything will be good.
But you got a coach who will never do that.
I know.
Never happen.
Pain. Devin Vassell played a bunch.
He didn't do too much, did he?
No,
he didn't do too much either.
He shot 1 3 in some dude's face at the end of the game, and I was like, "Yay!" But he didn't play as bad as his stat line. It was just, you could tell he was just kind of getting his feet wet. But the fact that he was playing, I was like, "Wow!" I'm kind of genuinely surprised, even though he played in the preseason, just because Pop never does that.
I like getting my feet wet.
Yeah,
just getting my feet wet right now. Just getting them. Just dipping my toes.
Into what?
Into Jude.
Let's go.
Hard. Yo, okay, Jude, serious question, and I'm hoping you can answer it, but I have a strange feeling you cannot. Or
interesting
you can answer, but I need a good answer.
I'm intrigued.
Have you ever played fantasy basketball?
Yes. I forget when. After a couple weeks. Look, if y'all need me to do it, I'll do it.
Well, no, I don't. We have a league. I need help because so here's the thing.
I have a girl.
I showed you my team, and it's a good team. But I started Brandon Clark tonight, thinking, no, what's his face? Who? Jaren Jackson? No, Jaren Jackson. He's great. He didn't do great. So I technically lose in points tonight, but there's like 6 more days
Okay,
with this
so I
lineup.
have now. I'm remembering
it
this. You
is it
play a
cumulative?
week. Yeah, it's
It's
throughout the
cumulative.
week.
Okay, so I'm still gonna bag this dub.
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't recommend playing Brandon Clark again, but I mean,
Clearly. I mean,
dude,
it's just like
it was so bad.
it felt
He
like
was
an
pulling up
obvious
from
pick.
3, and it was just bad. I was like, this dude's jumper looks like
That's good. I think I'm gonna buy
looks like
some
Michael
Brandon
Kidd
Clark
Gilchrist.
stock because he's legitimately good. He's
No, he
just
is good.
totally a
I
little
just don't think
misguided.
he should take threes. I know he made some last year, but yeah.
I have to go back and watch a little bit of tonight. I'll be very honest. I've never been rough on Ja Morant, but I've never really ridden the hype train for him that hard. Some people ride it really hard.
Dude,
And I
I don't
see a
ride it
very
hard, but
explosive, a very crafty guard. But when people were like, who would you rather have, Ja or Zion? I just felt like that was a joke. I thought it's very obvious you still want Zion.
yeah.
But
Okay, so here's the one thing I will say. In this jersey, I will shame him. I will shame him.
ooh,
Where's the 5?
the 5.
Anyways,
go.
It's there.
yeah. I bought this jersey
Robert
because
Horry.
it'll last 4 years. Anyways,
Facts.
I mean, like, look, I don't know how much y'all know about DeJounte. I know Spencer does. Like, DeJounte is one of the better perimeter defenders in the league,
Yeah.
right?
No doubt.
Ja was kind of working him tonight on a lot of possessions. I won't lie. There were some that DeJounte got him, and there were some that there were some screens. But honestly, if I'm being completely unbiased, the majority of possessions that
Well, Ja's probably one of the better off the
and there
dribble
were
creators.
switches that they would do. Like there was one time where they intentionally switched to like Patty Mills, so he went from
And let's be
DeJounte to
honest,
Patty Mills. But he worked
Morant's
him.
usage rate is probably pretty high playing in Memphis. So if he gets 20 attempts at Murray and he gets them 5 or 6 times, of course that's gonna happen. I mean,
I would say it would be more than that though. He got him.
well, okay. Oh,
I was just giving credit to him for doing a really good job against one of the better defenders, perimeter defenders in the league.
That Murray's been, Murray this is kind of like he's kind of getting his feet wet right now because, that injury that sets you back quite a bit. So he's probably still finding his feet, but he looks good. And so your Spurs, I will say, and my Spurs to a degree, it's more fun when I can go watch them in person.
Our Spurs.
Yeah, we all have a little Spurs in our heart.
All of us have
I'm
lived
excited.
in San Antonio at one point in our lives.
Yeah.
And I'm a historic Spurs hater, but I'm trying. Jude, I told you I would try.
And look, I get it. Like as PSA, before we end this thing, because I know we're getting to the end, I would just like to say, Spurs fans, I know you love your team, and I get that you have this whole underdog mentality because it's a small market and all that stuff. But shut up. Sometimes just shut up.
Knock it off,
Come on. Like nobody
Tell him,
I
Jude,
understand the despisal. Like I have a friend and it's weird. Like I have a friend who's a big Lakers fan and he loves having conversations with me about the Spurs young guys. But he's like, man, I just despise most Spurs fans. And he's like, and I'm like, I get it because of all the stupid stuff that they say on Twitter. It's so annoying. And it's like, bro, just shut up. Like, just be realistic about your team. It's not that hard.
The worst Facebook comment section on anything, not just sports, not just basketball, the worst Facebook comment section, Spurs comment section. It's the worst. It's worse than any political comment section. It's worse than any entertainment comment section. It's worse than the Strive Network comment section. It's so bad. I mean, you just have guys going off the deep end with these certain takes.
After tonight, I guarantee you I could go and find DeMar is an MVP candidate. I could go find that. I could go find that though. You know what I'm saying?
No, somebody's already written tonight that DeJounte is the future Hall of Famer, first ballot. I mean, come on. It's no doubt. And that's so funny to me. And it's not just the blind optimism. I kind of respect it to an extent, but also it's just like the hatred towards other tems. The Spurs will lose one game to like Dallas, and they're like, well,
what has that franchise ever done?
Yeah, I know. It's like, hey,
remember how many times
have their win?
Beat you?
I know. Just let them have it, guys. Come on.
The only time I do that, I think it's the Rockets. But I've slowed down. I would still say, I would
Well, you're
say
a
that
James
was
Harden hater, right?
that was no. I was.
Hey, when
I
James Harden
was,
when James Harden
but
makes
not
it to a new
anymore.
team, I'll be fine to ditch
He's
the
really
Rockets.
good. James
I'm
Harden's
cool.
really good.
I'm not really a Rockets guy. I'm obviously a James Harden guy, but if he goes to another team, I'm just gonna be all in on James, and I'm quick to drop the Rockets
Yeah.
because that Rockets team. Look, I'm all in with James, and I've said this before, but that team is just not the same as what it used to be. It's new ownership, new coach, new management. So obviously that he doesn't love the situation. So I just don't want to see him end up in my conference, the same conference as the Celtics, especially in the same division. Dear God, no, don't end up in Philly. Um, I think it would be a beautiful thing, Harden and Embiid, with Morey being the GM again. I think that would be so beautiful for basketball. But as a fan of the Celtics, I
Celtics, you don't want that. Yeah.
absolutely cannot stand it because I mean we already got our hands tied with Giannis. The last thing
Do
I need,
you?
and I feel well without our starting point guard, we did just fine.
I know it's one game, but I mean,
Yeah, but I'd so much rather face the Bucks than Harden in the East.
than a Harden Philly team.
I mean,
Yeah.
Harden in the
I don't
playoffs.
think he's gonna.
In the playoffs, I don't think those guys are comparable. I mean, look at what the
Yeah.
Bucks are
I
kind of like
agree.
the Ravens right now.
Like-
You know how the Ravens don't do jack squat in the playoffs, and it's no hate. It's just the structure of their team.
It's
Right
just
now,
what
the
it
Bucks
is.
structure, their team structure, it just doesn't bode well in the postseason. Harden is made for the postseason, especially if it gets a guy like Embiid.
So,
But real quick.
Go ahead, Ryan.
How is that gonna be different than when we had Harden, Morey, and Dwight Howard?
And see, and that's what I'm.
No, that's way different.
So it is different because Embiid's better than Dwight. Like not
Dwight was still very good. At that time. Dwight was an all-star.
significantly.
Dwight was an all-star with the Rockets. People forget that.
Okay, but he was
I
like
his prime.
18. He's like 18-8 with the Rockets.
Yeah,
like Embiid is like 30.
I'm not saying
20.
significantly. I'm just saying
No,
that he's
you can say
a-
that he's much
okay.
better than Dwight.
He's an upgrade, regardless of the level. So, and the only thing, and I was going to say this because he was asking if I was a Harden hater. The only thing that I feel like I clown on Harden for is the Kawhi series, the Spurs series, and whenever there was no Kawhi and bald, like 38-year-old Ginobili blocked him. But Ginobili's also a Hall of Famer, so you can't even really, like, you know what I mean? Like Ginobili,
that's one of the best teams.
40-year-old Ginobili in his last season literally beat the Warriors by himself one game. Like, so
that's one of the best two guards ever.
There's a little, there's a little bit of, okay, you can't really, like, that's just Ginobili. He's a legend. But I will say, and then the one year that he made it to the conference finals, it's the KD Warriors. So I can't, he hasn't got over the hump. That's the one thing that I would say about Harden. But I feel like also in a situation in the East, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's been some situations that have prevented him from breaking
it's kind of similar
through.
to Chris Paul. Chris Paul's never gotten over the hump, right? But Chris Paul's had good teams, but he's never had that true running mate. And same thing with like a guy like Steve Nash. Steve Nash never made it over the hump. He never had a real, he had Amari for a little bit. Injuries and other things plagued those guys. You look at a guy like Charles Barkley, even different style of a player, but these Hall of Fame level players, a lot of the times they just can't catch a break.
Yeah.
And right now, like
Steve
Harden,
Nash
to an extent, has hurt himself a lot, but also has just never caught a break.
Chris
Paul goes down before Game 7.
Yeah.
That's a very nuanced
Warriors
way of looking at it, Spencer. You did a great job of like using that as an example. Like there's some things that, yeah, exactly.
Some things he could control, but then some things that just couldn't break his way.
It's not always black and white. Like,
yeah.
So,
and I hate on Chris Paul a lot, but I would like to think that maybe if the NBA didn't veto his trade to the Lakers, he probably has a ring by now.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
So.
All right, boys. Any last Celtics takes or any last final questions, parting thoughts?
One last thing.
Okay.
Just real quick.
Go ahead.
Today was day one, the first day of the Jason Tatum MVP season.
Oh, it was, right?
And it's a beautiful thing. I'm really happy about it. I'm glad we get to experience it.
Yo, real
we
quick
get to have
preview.
a podcast.
I think he will get an NBA vote or MVP voting. Wasn't he in it last year? Wasn't he like 5th?
I don't.
You
I
could
can't
he could
remember.
honestly he could have been third. I wouldn't know. But, I think, and I had thought about it before. We've got the website pretty much set to launch probably around New Year's.
Bro, I need to.
At the end of every week, we could do like a little MVP like ladder, you know?
Yeah, I
It'd
can't
be
wait to
fun.
write. I can't wait to write my article about how Clemson or how Trevor Lawrence is Alabama's papa. So,
Yeah. Hey, Trevor Lawrence, future Patriots QB, Dad.
oh Lord,
He's gonna
future
be a Jaguar,
Jacksonville.
isn't he?
He's
Yeah.
gonna be a Jacksonville Jaguar with Joe Brady as his head coach, and they're gonna
And
terrorize the league.
Minshew's gonna go somewhere else.
And
He's gonna
Minshew's gonna turn
Minshew's
into
gonna go
Taysom
somewhere
Hill.
else. No,
Minshew's gonna end up in New England.
Minshew's gonna go to New England or
And-
Pittsburgh or somewhere and be amazing because he is a really good quarterback.
This is like your wet dream.
Hey,
wanting him to
Gardner
be a super
Minshew, the
superstar.
Mississippi legend, bro.
Oh God.
Yeah, you didn't know
He's
that.
something.
You didn't know that. I forget. I watched like this documentary on him the other night, and I was like, oh, I know exactly where that's at. But, anyways, he's a
It's so
legend.
funny.
He's so good, and that's all I'm trying to say. He's in a horrible situation, and he's still putting up really great numbers. I know, not only because I'm a big fan of his, because I am him, and also because look at me, because he was on my fantasy team, and he was putting up very good numbers until
Until-
And he didn't have the greatest coach of all time either.
but he
so-
was 20 points every week. That's all I can
Yeah.
ask for.
yeah.
He's good stats, bad team guy.
He's Russell
what he is.
Westbrook.
He's Russell Westbrook.
Bro, okay, now I have one thing. Russell Westbrook is a Washington Wizard. Just
Wizard.
let that a
Did that happen?
wizard.
Did he play
I
tonight?
don't believe it. Yeah, he got the first he broke like some NBA triple double record tonight. I'm
Are you
serious.
kidding me?
Like yeah, he was like
That's
the
so funny.
first like player.
First wizard to ever have a
No, he was the first NBA player in the first game of the season on like a new team, or it might have just been in the first game of the season to have a triple double
There we
through the 3 quarters.
Oh yeah, here we go. I want to check on both these teams, the Wizards and the Sixers.
I just
Wizards
can't
won by
believe he's a
6.
wizard,
That's
bro.
kinda-
They competed with the Sixers.
Wow. What a game. Yo, Ryan, you did very well by picking him up.
Oh, I know.
21, 15, and 11. And so here's what's crazy. And I question this a lot,
22.
but if he and Beal can get theirs, individually, because Beal still got 31. If they can work off of each other like that,
And
they
Davis
are
Bertans
legitimately-
gives them like 5 threes a game.
they could be vying for a playoff spot
they'll
and
make
maybe a little bit more.
They might make the playoffs. It's a big
Oh,
3.
I
It's
feel
Bradley
like
Beal.
it's almost a lock to
Yep.
make the playoffs.
Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook, Davis
And Davis
Bertans.
Bertans. Dude, of course. But as a huge fan of Ben Simmons, and I know they won tonight, he's got to get the heck out of Philly. I mean, I can't stand to watch him
agree,
play alongside Embiid
Which
any
is
longer.
why he's going to be.
And that's why the
Rocket.
Houston trade makes so much sense,
Just
because
makes
he could
so
go
much
into
sense for
Houston with
both
Christian Wood
sides.
and Daniel House, and he could that would be his team, and he would do so many amazing things. Playing with Embiid is not helping him. Embiid though was
They just
awesome
don't
tonight.
work because you got to play like Simmons as like a
It just
point
doesn't
center.
work. They're very different players, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
But it was an exciting night in the NBA, and I'm more excited because Christmas
Christmas
is kind of
Day.
Like, we're playing games in there,
Okay,
but Christmas is going to have some great games.
I'm so excited for your game that day. I'm really intrigued to see what that
Celtics
looks
is
like.
going to be very fun.
That might be the game of the day. I don't know. I haven't looked at the other games,
So
but
I'm hoping Kemba's good by then. But
That's
if
gonna
not,
be
then we'll roll
such a
out
good
our
game.
squad.
I'm ready for that though. I'm ready to I think wait, let me check something. I think there's one thing that I have to do on Friday. Oh, I got Marshall Buffalo at 1:30, but other than that, that'll be done. That'll be done by the time that starts. What, Ryan? You don't like some Grant Wells and some Jarrett Patterson?
I'm surprised you
Oh,
were watching the Spurs over FAU and whoever.
And Memphis.
Oh yeah, you would know.
You would know.
Hey,
dude.
Georgia Southern beat Louisiana Tech today, 38-3. Sunbelt smacking Conference USA.
Hey, let's.
I
give a
don't
quick-
understand you.
I don't understand how he works either. Here,
56-28 App State, North Texas.
we have to stop him. Jude, you're done. You're done. No more college football. This is not a college football podcast. Okay. I'm going to read
G5.
off. I'm going to read no more
Never will
G5.
die.
No more G5. No more G5. P5 only. P5 only. I'm going to read off
Racist.
I'm going to read off the games on Christmas Day, and I want you guys to give me quick
Okay.
hitters,
Great way to end.
quick answers. All right. Starting off 11 a.m. You just got done wrapping your unwrapping your gifts. You got some eggnog. You turn on the TV and you watching Pelicans in Miami. Who you got?
You want to go, Ryan?
Yeah, I'll
Or no?
go. I have
Zion Butler. Who you
I
got?
have Miami winning with
You know
Zion
they lost
putting on a
tonight.
show.
Right?
Miami lost tonight.
I get to some not a great team.
That's fine. It's Christmas.
That's
Jimmy,
okay.
Jimmy
It's
Christmas.
Christmas. He's
baby,
gonna
don't
show
worry.
out.
Yeah,
Jimmy
he's gonna show
Christmas.
Jimmy Christmas. Who did,
But
they lost to the
Zion-
Magic.
Yeah, Magic are a good team. Zion's gonna do.
Mo
it's
Bamba.
it's the rivalry. It's the Florida
Mo
rivalry.
Bamba. Yeah.
Markel
Florida,
Fultz. He
in-state
was the
rivalry.
first overall pick in the draft.
Yeah, he's
Evan
a goat.
Fournier
He
went
used
for
to be a Celtic.
25.
He's Evan Fournier.
All right, Jude, who you got on? Jude, who you got?
I'm gonna go Nola all the way. Pels.
All right, let's go. I'll quickly go. I'll go Heat. All right. After that game wraps up, you just had a little bit of lunch. You're watching the Warriors take on the Bucks in Milwaukee. Steph, Giannis.
I think I'll probably go Bucks, just because.
probably.
Yeah,
I feel like
'cause
that's a blowout. I feel like
Yeah,
that's a
I think so
blowout, just
too.
with the current state of the
Unfortunately,
Warriors.
I feel so bad that Klay Thompson got hurt. Basketball would be so
I
much
feel so
more
bad for
fun
Steph
with him
Curry.
there. Yeah.
He's at the point where he's just playing with like
Do
nobody.
y'all know if Draymond will be back?
By then, probably not.
No.
So
He's still
Yeah,
day
that's
to
a
day, so
L.
we'll see.
that's
It's gonna be
Bucks.
Bucks. Yeah, it's gonna be Bucks.
It's gonna be a Buck stuff. All right, you guys are getting closer to dinner. You can smell the pork roast, the brisket, whatever you got cooking. You can smell it. It's cooking. It's broiling. The Nets head to Boston. Kyrie's gonna burn some sage in the TD Garden. Nets, Celtics, 4:00. Who you got? Great game.
This is
Great
gonna
game.
be. I think this is gonna be. Even if like it ends up being like a 10-point win, like for either team, either way, I think that this is going to be a close game with like at least with like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be.
Yeah,
It's going to be. It's going to be a close game, even if somebody kind of pulls away on the scoreboard later. I don't know. This is going to be tough. Ryan, you want to go first?
It's not going to be a close game at all. The Boston Celtics are going to destroy the Nets. Kyrie Irving doesn't stand a chance. I almost just got us demonetized
Yo,
with some of my
Ryan.
language. But you know what? You know why the Celtics are winning? The Celtics are
'Cause it's
winning
not the preseason.
because the Celtics are the balls, baby.
What does that mean?
Yo, it's Peyton Pritchard season. It's Peyton Pritchard season.
Oh,
Yo,
Listen,
Ryan,
I'm
you know
gonna
what it is?
go there, but
It's game 2 of the Jason Tatum MVP train. That's what it is. And I'm
That's
very
fast.
excited for it.
I've stopped getting
I'll go
annoyed
Celtics in a close one.
and just enjoying your guys' love for your team. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go Nets. So
Okay, KD looks incredible, and I'm so happy for it. 'Cause
yeah,
was seriously worried he wasn't going to.
but this right now, as much barring James Harden getting traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, which may very well happen, this
He could also just be traded to the Nets.
that could happen too. This kind of looks like this may very well be an Eastern Conference Finals preview.
Could be. I hope it. Yeah. I guess it could be. I'm not against it. And you've probably already taken your first bite of dinner, but at this point, it's later in the day, or you're still waiting for dinner if your family sucks. It's Mavs heading all the way to the West Coast to take on the superb LA team, the Lakers.
Lakers.
Lakers, and it's not close.
No.
Who are they
Yes. They're
The
playing the
Lakers-
Mavericks.
They're playing the Mavs.
The Mavs lost 102-106 to the Suns tonight. Yeah. I mean, they'll probably play better. Maybe Luka just goes ridiculous in this game.
playing? Luka puts on a show.
But yeah, I think the Lakers, especially after losing to the Clippers, they'll win this
Yeah.
game. They'll win this game.
I was gonna fade y'all and say Mavs, but it's Christmas and LeBron doesn't like to lose on Christmas. He's gonna
Yeah.
find a way.
And he
I think LeBron's gonna have a triple double and probably go crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's a close one though, because I think
Is-
Luke is probably going for 40.
Is this another game? Is there another game after this one?
There's another one. These 4 games have
that's
been really nice, but we're still getting blessed with a late slate.
That's beautiful.
9:30 p.m. Now your socks are off. You've got a little. Once again, you started the day with eggnog. Now you're finishing the day with eggnog. Clippers playing in the high elevation city of Denver. We've got Kawhi. We've got
This is the best
Jokic.
game of the day, actually. That maybe number 2, but this is going to be really fun. I think I agree. I agree. But this is a really fun game because that
we've got the best center in the
Clippers-
league versus Kawhi.
the Clippers are going to be pissed playing in this game.
They're going to be sharp.
They're going to be pissed coming into this game. They're going to want to beat the crap out of the Nuggets. Will it happen? I don't think so.
Denver
I will take the Clippers. But I could
Denver
easily see Denver winning.
It's gonna
5
be the
seed
Clippers,
Nuggets,
isn't it? Yeah, it's gonna be the Clippers.
I'll go 5 seed Nuggets.
Okay.
See, I respect that.
I'm still not a believer in Paul George like that. What's up?
Overtime game. Kings beat the Nuggets tonight, 124-122.
Yeah. What's his?
Why does I take the Nuggets? Let's go.
What's his name?
Yeah, Buddy Hield hit the shot.
Buddy Hield had the game winner. He hit a buzzer beater.
Believe it or not,
Michael Porter Jr. had 24. Dang. Okay, so that actually makes me feel like the Nuggets will play them even tougher because they're coming off a tough loss. But I still think that the Clippers are just going to be like, "You kicked us out of the playoffs."
Yeah, well, I think the Clippers should just be mad at their
selves.
Best player, Paul George, for bricking shots, but
Kawhi even did too, to an extent.
Well, yeah, it was
more PG, but like Kawhi, that was probably
not his best work. It's probably his worst playoff series. Yeah,
that's what I was about to say. So
yeah, definitely could have been better. So I think the Clippers will have a much better go of things this year. It is approaching 1 a.m. our time. I'm going to be up in probably about 5 or 6 hours.
Spencer needs to sleep.
It's been a good run. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, which is a top 5 day of the year. It's a great day.
And we all had a good Festivus, I think, right?
And Festivus was fabulous.
Gang. Basketball.
Jude having no idea what Festivus is, and I love it.
But just for a real quick airing of grievances.
Oh, yeah, air grievances.
Jude.
What's your grievances with me?
Dude, you severely disappoint me when you have your little hairs poking out from underneath your cap brim.
I love that. I love that.
And also, no one gives a flying explicit about Group of 5 Sunbelt Mac.
You say no one, and I can show you an entire community.
All right.
Nobody cares about those people either.
I'll get to you in a second, Spencer. All right, and actually, you know what? I'll do it now. Spencer. I love you, buddy.
Let's go. Maybe next year we can air grievances.
No. But if you eat any more hot chips while you're on the phone with me,
no, keep it.
I'm going to have a conniption.
They're good.
All right, that's all I got.
I'll air some grievances. Jude, LSU won't be good for another decade. I'm sorry. And I won't ever apologize for it. And Ryan,
that will be false.
I
we'll
can't
be a
pick
decent
on
team
you.
next year.
I'm an angel.
Ryan, your nipples are inverted.
Not hey.
Prove
Used
it.
to be. Yeah, put them on screen.
Look, man, I'm trying to make some YouTube friendly content right here.
This is gonna get the advertisers popping, bro.
No, it's not.
Yeah, if this video doesn't get us to 30 subscribers, I'm gonna be so mad.
It's pain.
Well, I'm finally gonna start putting an effort on the YouTube, maybe. So we'll see what happens. The people love me. The people will come.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see Ryan one-on-one with himself. Looking
airing. I don't know how many. I have one grievance. This is only one.
Oh man.
And it's just for both of you.
Okay. Thank God.
It's not even anything like that bad. It's just I forget when we were texting about it, and both y'all might have just been trolling. But yeah, I don't think it's that outrageous to think that Keldon Johnson has all-star potential in like 6 years.
Oh, I didn't say anything about that.
I think that might have just been Ruggles
Might
then.
have been me. Might have been me.
Yeah, but I don't think he knew who Keldon Johnson was. To be
I
fair.
did. I genuinely had no idea who
I
that
had
was.
no idea.
So okay, that's the only one. But he has a shot to be pretty good. I mean, SEC freshman of the year from Kentucky.
Hey, Jude, real quick, I see you're wearing a shirt under your jersey. Is that an LSU shirt?
No, it's just a.
Oh, I was gonna hang up.
It's just a. You can't even really see it, but it's just
Hey.
my dry fit Bayleaf shirt. Yeah,
Nice.
Go.
Okay, cool. I was gonna
Yeah.
hang up.
I got my Louisiana hat on. I'm always repping.
Yeah, you're always rapping.
Robert Williams, Louisiana native.
God, I hate that he knows these things. It's so annoying.
It's your roster, baby.
Yeah, it's my roster.
I can tell you. I always know. I know where my
know
kin are.
You
So
grew
claim,
up with
you
him.
claim Time Lord.
I claim Robert Williams.
That's so weird, dude. That's so funny. Okay, guys, what can we expect this week? This will be up tomorrow on Christmas Eve. And then probably tomorrow will be a busy week for me at least. But we'll probably get some stuff up. If the funding comes together for the website next couple of days, we can probably launch maybe do a New Year's Eve launch. We'll see.
That'd be dope.
I'm
We
going
need
to
the
bed.
sexy
so
website.
We need it. It is sexy.
All right, you want me to take us out?
Take us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning into this week's episode of Strive Chats. If you liked it, be sure to leave us a like, a comment, a subscribe.
Call me Scooby.
Call him Scooby. Call him Scooby in the comment section right now. Give us some feedback. Be interactive. We love to interact with our lovely viewers and fans. That's all from us for today. Have a very Merry Christmas or whatever you're celebrating. I love you all individually, but not equally. And that's all I have.
I love you all. Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus, guys. Merry
Bye,
Christmas.
gang.